So I'm here at the Best Western Compass Inn Hotel with Rupert. What's your surname, Rupert? So we can get
Monyard.
Monyard. Nice
Monyard,
to meet
yeah.
you. Thank you very much for having us. It's all a bit busy today, isn't it?
Yes, it is. There's a lot going on.
And we are here specifically filming Don for our next marketing campaign. How did Don come to be working here?
Don came to us as a normal guest a long time ago. In fact, when I was a child, because this is a family hotel and I've always lived here on site when I was younger, and just stayed for a very long time. They stayed on and off, and then they stayed more, and sometimes it was months at a time. And eventually he moved to the area, and that was a long time as well. And then he ended up retiring and came to us and worked for us.
So he lives locally to the hotel.
He does now.
Yeah.
He does now. He didn't originally. He lived a long way away, and hence why he was coming down here and staying with us. And and then he moved, and now he works here, which is rather good.
And what does he do here?
He's our maintenance man, so he does everything inside, outside, so lawns and gardens, general maintenance inside, decorating, all sorts of things.
Yeah. So he's not normally just stood with his hand on a lawnmower having his photograph taken?
Not having his photograph taken.
No. And what do you find kind of people come and stay at this hotel for then? I assume you don't have that many guests like Don who are here for 4 months at a time. And
Not that length of time. We do have a lot of business guests who stay for quite a long time. Sometimes they're with us every week or 3-4 nights a week every week. So we get a lot of customers, I think, who do feel at home here and stay here for quite long lengths of time. I think Don is unusual in the fact that he never quite left, but.
And what about the kind of other staff that work here then? Is there a lot of them family or friends or?
Yeah, an awful lot of family here. Little groups of people, because we're situated on the edge of a village. We've employed a lot of families over the years here. You know, mothers, daughters, and sons, and sometimes they're working here at the same time. Sometimes they precede each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, very family based. We've got sisters working here at the moment that have been here since they were 16 and they're now in their 40s.
Wow.
And one of their daughters works for us as well. We've got, in our housekeeping department, we've got a son, a mother and a grandmother who work for us.
3 generations.
3 generations all at the moment. So yeah, that's kind of a reoccurring theme through the business, lots of families. So.
And how has the hotel changed then? Because obviously if you've grown up here, it looks like there's been lots of renovations and things. What can you remember as the?
I mean, quite a lot really. When I was very young, the hotel rooms at the back were being built, so it's very much the older part of the building is at the front, and then the bedrooms are all in newer accommodation at the back. So I remember the building before that. Not started, but before it was complete. And there's a stone laid in reception when I was 3, which was when my sister and I laid it when that wing was opened.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
and was it always a hotel, or has it been a house, or?
When my grandparents moved here in 1961 and started it, it was just a pub.
Right, okay.
And they started work on it pretty much straight away to make the bar part of it bigger.
So that's the original part of the building.
It's
as
the
we
original
see it now,
part
that's
here at the front.
or something like that.
I don't know quite how old it is. I probably should, but I don't. We had our 50th celebration of being here a couple of years ago, and some of the villagers brought up some fantastic photos of the place, really old photos. Somebody did bring up a photograph of it when it was the bar and the inn part of it at the very front, and then the bit that is now our bar was still the 2 cottages, and the door, which is the entrance to that part of the building, was still the entrance to just the 2 cottages at the time. So that was great for us to see, because that was long before I got here, and that was in the first couple of days, weeks or months that we arrived here and started work on it. And then after that, the hotel, the first guest rooms were built above this section, And then slowly, as people's expectations became greater and the rooms we felt weren't suitable for modern guests, those were taken out of service and the newer ones at the back were built. And the ones which at the front weren't suitable for guest rooms, there's a couple of bedrooms which are just used as like temporary staff accommodation, and there's a couple of them which have been converted into larger rooms and are now used as small meeting and conference rooms, so they're still in use.
And what was it like for you then, being brought up in a hotel? You must have met some
I don't know because I've only ever been brought up in a hotel. So I don't know what it's like to not be brought up in a hotel. Perfectly normal as far as I'm concerned. But fun.
Yeah.
Loads of stories, just always something going on, always surrounded by people. Always. Never a time when there's not somebody there. Pretty much apart from Christmas Day, which is the only day of the year which we shut. So, yeah, and then it seems very strange to have a building that's quite so quiet, like a big building that's quite so quiet. And since my parents still live here, we do still come here on Christmas Day. And, we open the bar just for a couple of hours for locals.
And the locals seem, there was a lot of locals in last night using the bar and stuff. There was somebody playing the guitar and that sort of thing. Is that a kind of regular occurrence?
The chap playing the guitar is actually a business customer who's been coming to stay with us for years.
Oh, right.
So,
I thought he was a local.
No. He's another businessman who just stays with us every week for about 2, 3, 4 nights a week. To give it another 30 years, he might be another Don Hall.
So now he's just so comfortably brings his guitar with him when he's travelling. Well, I mean, he added such a lovely atmosphere to the bar last night. It was absolutely great.
Yeah, it's great. He's just another business customer, really nice chap. Brings his guitar with him and practices and stuff in his room. And I think people realise that he was obviously quite good. And now he is confident enough and happy enough to come and play down in the bar sometimes, and people do seem to love it.
Yeah,
so,
lovely. A lot of people were going in there specifically to go and listen to him last night, so it's obviously working. And in terms of Best Western then, when did the Compass Inn join the Best Western brand and why? It's always a big question.
We're not 100% sure when we joined the Best Western brand, but about 2 years ago we had a nice shiny plaque turn up that said thank you for being in Best Western for 20 years.
Oh!
So, more than 20 years. But we joined... Why? Wow. There's a question. Why did we join the Best Western brand? Well, that wasn't my decision, because obviously I was only in my early teens then. I think probably my parents had realised a long time ago that there was an advantage to being an individual hotel, privately owned, run and managed, with all the individual quirks and personality that come with being an individual hotel, and yet the importance of being under a brand banner that people recognise, nationally and internationally. So I think that's probably where the decision came from. It certainly is the reason now, and I'm guessing it was probably why the decision was made so long ago as well.
And do you get involved in many of the Best Western kind of campaigns or anything, or is it go to the meetings and that sort of thing, or is it?
I actually don't get to very many of the meetings.
No.
Most of my contact comes through my business liaison manager.
Yeah.
And it has done for quite some time. I occasionally get to them, but not as much as I should do. Particularly at the moment, I just don't have as much time. As far as getting involved with other things concerned, it depends how appropriate they are. Like most big organisations, Best Western do certain things, golf things and things like that, which don't interest me. I'm not a golfer. But sometimes they do certain campaigns or certain things that we do feel are appropriate or we think are fun and we can get involved with relatively easily or at relatively little cost, and then it's worth a go. So
today's a good introduction then to the stuff that we're doing in marketing. You'll be nobody else knows we're doing this yet, so it'll be interesting to see the campaign.
Today's is certainly the biggest thing that we've ever got involved with like this, definitely.
Oh, we really appreciate it, and it's great to see Don looks like he's having a nice time, and he'll be able to be released back to going and doing his duties quite soon, I'd imagine. Another hour or so. It's like I said yesterday, you sometimes forget that it's such an art form taking these photographs. Like for me, I've got these cameras and I kind of like just do a bit of a snap. And last night when the guys were out filming in the fields and filming back at the hotel and all the rest of it, I just had my phone camera and I was doing point and click. And of course, those guys have been sat now probably looking just at that specific image for 15 minutes. But it'll look beautiful.
It will, and they already look
beautiful.
great.
So what's your plan?
I'm hoping that noise I can hear over there is them putting makeup on him, because that will make me laugh.
No, I don't think so. Sharon's the person that'll be doing the makeup.
Oh,
so,
shame really.
Yeah, I don't think they need it. He looks weathered enough already.
He's a natural beauty.
I know, exactly. Right, I'll stop this recording. Thank you very much for your time.